Hi, I'm Norleen, and today I'm here to read Chapter 5 of my old fanfiction Xanna. Content warning, this has some old, outdated humor, but I hope that you stick around and enjoy it. Let's get started! Chapter 5, Xanna's Day Off. It was 3 days later. Xanna was in Silvermoon City, hanging out at the spa. Wow, 3 days. Wow. Shush, enjoying, be quiet. I can see that, because you've been here for 3 freaking days. I'm surprised that you're not a prune. Xanna didn't say anything to Izzy and continued to enjoy the spa's hot spring tub. Of course, you're not even listening, so you probably won't listen to me when I say this. What if the guys find you here? You know, I had completely forgotten about them. They're probably looking for me right now. That is so conceited. Probably, since they're all stalkers. I seriously think that you should get new friends. Ones that I'll like. And another thing! Xanna covered Izzy's mouth. Shut up, I'm getting out of the tub. Izzy muffled some words under Xanna's hand. I know what the guys are up to. I wonder what the guys are up to. Next scene of These Are the Simps of Our Lives. Makoki, get back here with my sandwich! Moxa yelled as he chased Makoki, who was running very fast because he was in his ghost wolf form. Makoki continued to run until he was cornered at a rock. Ha! I've got you now! Now give me back my freaking sandwich! Moxa held out his hand for the return of his sandwich. Makoki didn't give it to him. I'm waiting, Moxa said as he tapped his foot. Makoki ran behind the rock. Makoki! Moxa was about to chase him down again, but Makoki returned, and with another ghost wolf, who also had a sandwich in its mouth. Gizzy, not you too? Both of the ghost wolves sat there, wagging their tails, smiling happily at the very annoyed Moxa. Moxa sighed and stared at them closely to see which one was Makoki. Aha! You're Makoki! He yelled at the ghost wolf on the left. And don't say you aren't, because I can tell. You have green eyes. Now give me back my sandwich! Moxa was tapping his foot so fast he started to make a little hole in the ground. The ghost wolves looked at each other, then at him, each other, him, each other, him. Then they started to run around in circles very fast. When they stopped, they both had their eyes closed. You bastards! Moxa's eye began to twitch. Oxil sighed and stepped on the dog's tails. They yelped, dropped the sandwiches, and turned back into Makoki and Gishpek. They rubbed their butts from the pain. Why didn't I think of that? Moxa asked. Because you're an idiot, Oxil answered bluntly. He picked up the sandwiches and handed them to Moxa. Moxa looked at them. They were covered in drool and dirt. Enjoy. I'm not hungry anymore. "'Kay, we'll take 'em," Makoki said as he snatched the sandwiches. He and Gishpek inhaled them. Literally. They just put them up to their faces, breathed, and the sandwiches were gone. Moxa gagged after seeing that. You guys are disgusting! They shrugged. Moxa shook his head. And while these idiots were being idiots, Oxil sat on a nearby rock. I wonder what Xanna's doing, he said quietly to himself. Who knows? A girl that hot could be doing anything. She could probably be at a super awesome party, talking with at least 5 guys right now, Makoki said. With each word, Oxil died a little inside. Or maybe she is at the spa, like she said she was going to do. Xanna at the spa. Naked in the hot spring. Makoki sighed a dreamy sigh at his last thought. Oh. Oxil was very angry at that. He hopped off the rock and hit him on the head. Ow! What'd I say? You said she was naked at a spa. Well, that is what you do at a spa. No, it isn't. You go there to relax. Getting naked is relaxing. In many, many ways, too. Makoki sighed another dreamy sigh as he imagined Xanna being naked. Oh. Oxil and Moxa tackled him and started to punch him. Get his ribs! Oxil shouted. Get his tail! Moxa shouted. Gishpek sighed as the three wrestled. Ow! My tail! Makoki yelled because Moxa had bit his tail. It was a good thing that Xanna got away when she had the chance, Gishpek thought. Next scene, just get out of the spa. Xanna rolled her eyes. She was about to get out of the tub when she saw one of the spa employees walk by. She quickly stealthed and hid in the water until he was gone. If you hadn't bought all of those shiny things at the auction house, you would still have money and you wouldn't even need to be stealthing right now. Hey, you're right. I don't need to stealth because I was able to borrow one of their ID cards. Right. Borrow. Anyway, you left it with your clothes, which are in a cubby in the next room, you idiot. Well, all I gotta do is stealth to the cubby, get my clothes and the ID, and I'll be home free. Yeah, I wonder how that's gonna work out. I got in here, didn't I? True. So have a little faith in me. I do have faith in you. I have faith that you'll end up getting caught and getting into big trouble. I meant the good kind of faith. That is the good faith. How? I didn't say you would die by getting caught, did I? You, sir, are a bastard. Of course I— Sir! Izzy tried to tackle and beat up Xanna, but Xanna held out a hand to stop her. Wait until we get out of here first. Fine, Izzy pouted. But Xanna had a point. They needed to get out of the spa first so they wouldn't get into trouble. Well, Xanna had to. Since Izzy is a voice in her head, she won't really be getting into trouble. Technically, anyway. Next scene. Xanna got out of the tub, grabbed a nearby towel, and quickly stealthed. She walked very slowly to the entrance of the room. She was able to succeed without being noticed. She started to walk to the next room that her clothes were in. She was able to do that without being noticed either. She quickly dressed herself into a red linen shirt, blue linen pants, a black leather jacket, and a pair of sunglasses so no one would see her eyes. Her armor was in her bags. She didn't think it was necessary to put it on since she was in a spa. Phew! Now all I gotta do is get the hell out of here. Next scene, because that info dump was necessary to be its own scene. Xanna walked out of the room and walked toward the entrance of the door. She was almost there when she felt someone grab her arm. Where do you think you're going, little missy? Shit, Izzy and Xanna both thought. Xanna turned her head to see the man who was holding her. It was a tall, blood elf man. He had short blonde, spiky hair, long sideburns that he really needed to trim, and a tan. By the way he was dressed in his white shorts and white shirt, Xanna figured he'd worked at the spa and probably got free tans. Okay, I probably have some explaining to do. Yes, you certainly do. So where are you going with that towel? Huh? Xanna looked at her bag. She had accidentally placed the towel she had in her bag. Oh, this! I'm sorry, I must have put it there by mistake. She took the towel out of her bag and handed it to the man who was still holding her arm. Not at all lightly either. He took the towel and he was about to let go of her, but he started to examine her instead. I don't remember you checking into the spa. Oh, I'm an employee. If that's true, then why aren't you in uniform? Because it's my day off. The man gave her a disbelieving look. I am an employee. Here's my employee ID card, Xanna said as she quickly pulled out the ID she had borrowed. The man looked at it. Are you sure this is your ID, ma'am? Of course I am. Why wouldn't it be? So you're Esteban? Izzy smacked a hand on her forehead. You didn't even make sure that you had grabbed a girl's ID? Xanna ignored Izzy while she tried to think of something to save her hide. What's wrong with that name? I will have you know that my mother gave me that name. Nothing's wrong with that name. In fact, that's my name. In fact, this is my ID, he said and showed Xanna the little card. It had his picture and name on it. You didn't even look at it either? Why, isn't it my old long-lost twin brother who has the same name as me? Xanna said and gave a nervous smile as she hugged Esteban. Izzy smacked her forehead again. Idiot. Ma'am, stop hugging me. Yeah, that'd probably be a good idea. Xanna stopped hugging him. I'm going to have to call your parents. Sure, their number is... Xanna tried to think of a random number for Esteban. He started to glare at her as she did. 117-199-3015. Where'd you get that number from? It's our birthday and age. He nodded and grabbed her arm again. All right, you're coming with me to the office. He dragged her to the office. Next scene. When they got there, he sat her down in a chair, walked to the desk, and grabbed the phone. Now, are you sure that's your parents' number? Yeah. All right. He dialed the number. It's ringing. Are you absolutely positive that this is your parents' number? Of course. Why wouldn't I know my own parents' number? Hello? An old woman's voice said on the other end of the phone. Hello, ma'am. Jeffrey, is that you? Why haven't you called me lately? You know what they say if you don't call your grandmother every now and then. A snake will come and lay eggs in your stomach and bite you right on the ass while you're asleep. Esteban slammed the phone back down. He looked to where Xanna was sitting. There was something wrong. Very wrong. It was probably that Xanna wasn't even there anymore. Next scene. What happened to Grandma? Jeffrey! Xanna was panting because she had sprinted to get away from Esteban. She was hiding behind a wall. There's there's the entrance! Xanna looked to the entrance. She tried to make a run for it, only to be caught by Esteban! She hung her head low and sighed. I know every inch of this spa, and I deal with little punks like you every day. I know how it goes. Damn it. Great, now he's gonna toss us into jail. Hey, chill out. I'm a rogue, so I can get out of jail easily. Not when there are guards! Would you just calm down, please? He might not even put us in jail. Hopefully he won't. I want a new body keeper. Xanna rolled her eyes at Izzy. Next scene. Esteban had taken Xanna back to the office. Now tell me your parents' real number this time, he demanded. Xanna didn't say anything. Still no answer. Fine, be that way. I'll just call the police and report you for trespassing and identity theft. I'm starting to miss the stalkers. Me too. Next scene. Here we go. A male blood elf walked into the room. He was tall, buff-looking, handsome, looked around Xanna's age, very convenient, had dark pink skin like Xanna, long dark brown hair that hung around his face. The left side was a little longer than the right, and he had 2 gorgeous green eyes. Not 1, not 3 or more, but 2. Mr. Esteban, where do you need me to put these towels? He said in a gorgeous, deep, soothing tone that would make a person go weak in the knees, or possibly melt. Except I can't really do a Latin accent, so he's British. Never mind, I'm good with staying here, Izzy said and began to drool. What the hell is wrong with you? Here I am about to possibly go to jail, and you're drooling over some hot, tall, buff, handsome... What was I saying again? The 2 of you are getting attracted to a male blood elf that is, by description, sounds exactly like a long-lost twin brother. Just put them in the back, Cosmo, Esteban told him. He looked back at Xanna and then dialed a number on the phone. The blood elf, known as Cosmo, looked at Xanna instead of walking into the back room. Wow, she's pretty. He looked at Esteban again. Wait. Pretty girl in the office. Esteban looks angry. 2 + 2 = pizza. This girl must be in trouble! Hey, maybe if I help her out, she'll give me a kiss. Cosmo walked up to the desk, set the towels down, and tapped Esteban on his shoulder. What? Esteban growled. Mr. Esteban, sir, this is a friend of mine. Xanna looked at Cosmo with a questioning look. Is he trying to help me? Izzy ran somewhere else in Xanna's mind, then came back in a tuxedo. Why are you wearing that? Because we're going to get married. Duh. Then wouldn't he be the one in the tux? No, why the hell would he be in the tux? Because, never mind. Izzy shrugged and got a bouquet of flowers. So need a new brain. Next scene. Oh, she is she? Esteban asked as he slowly put down the phone. Yes, whatever she did, I'll pay for it. So just take it off my paycheck. Well, she snuck into the hot springs, tried to steal a towel, and my ID. Cosmo looked at Xanna. He was now starting to question himself. No, must help. Be nice. Head hopping. Are you sure you want to pay for the trouble she's caused? If you do, you're guaranteed to only get 5 copper on your next paycheck. Cosmo sighed. British sigh. Yes, I'll pay for it. How I translated currency in Warcraft for myself, I used American currency. 1 copper is the equivalent of 1 cent. 1 silver would be the equivalent of $1. 1 gold would be the equivalent of $100, because it takes 100 silver to make 1 gold, 100 copper to make 1 silver. Esteban hung up the phone. All right, Cosmo. He looked at Xanna. You got lucky this time, Missy. But the next time this happens, Cosmo is not going to be here to bail you out. Xanna rolled her eyes under her glasses. I can't believe this guy is trying to be so serious. He just can't pull it off with that hair. Or that tan, Izzy giggled. Xanna giggled with her until she realized something very wrong. Did you just giggle? No? Xanna took a few steps away from Izzy. Next scene. Cosmo escorted Xanna to the entrance of the spa. Thanks for getting me out of trouble. No problem. I'll try to pay you back your check. What was your check anyway? 20 gold. Yeah, so by my transactionings and equivalencies in my brain, 20 gold would be like 2,000 American dollars, and he's now going to get 5 cents on his next check because I guess Esteban suffered much emotional damage. Wow, and he's only getting 5 copper. You really pissed off that Esteban dude. Oh, I'll still try to pay it back. No need, it's fine. but there's gotta be a way that I can repay you. Well... Marriage?! I would like to know your name, if you don't mind telling me, that is. Damn. Xanna. Xanna? I used to know Xanna when I was little. Really? Cool. Cosmo leaned into Xanna's face. You kinda remind me of her. Xanna blushed because he was so close to her face. Let me take control, so you can... him? Yes! You are such a hypocrite. Shut up. Want control? Give me! Izzy began to foam at the mouth. Xanna ignored it and her ranting about how she should be in control. She was trying to tell Cosmo to get away from her face, but was too shy to say anything. Cosmo said. Mind if I take off your glasses? Xanna said, trying to say no. Cosmo took off her glasses and was shocked at what he saw. Okay, you saw my eyes. Can I have my glasses back now, or are you going to turn me in because of the color of my eyes? Cosmo laughed and gave Xanna a big hug. Why are you hugging me? Cosmo stopped hugging her, but still kept his hands on her shoulders. Xanna, it's me, Cosmo! Xanna had a puzzled look on her face. Cosmo rolled his eyes and tilted his head cutely to his right. Xanna gasped. Cosmo? My long-lost twin brother by the descriptions that were being given, because that's what it sounds like? He nodded with a big grin on his face. Oh my gosh, it's been so long! Xanna gave Cosmo a big hug, never wanting to let go. Wait, you know him? Yes, don't you remember him at all? Let's see, Cosmo. Isn't he the little blood elf kid that everyone would call a fairy except for you, and he would never make fun of you because of your eyes, so the two of you became best friends, and then he got adopted when you guys were 7 and you never saw him again? Yes! Nope, doesn't ring a bell. Xanna rolled her eyes and ignored Izzy as she continued to hug Cosmo. Cosmo stopped hugging her. She pouted a little at that. Man, Xanna, you look great. I mean, what have you been up to all this time? And I'm so happy to see you again. He hugged her again, stopped, and began to talk again. Wanna go grab some lunch or something and catch up sometime? Maybe after I get off my shift? Xanna was going to answer, but was interrupted. Okay, I'll meet you here after my shift is over. He looked at his right wrist to check his watch. Which is right. They heard a little ding. Ding! Xanna looked around to see where it came from. Now, Cosmo finished. He handed her glasses back and wrapped his right arm around her shoulders. Come, walk with me, talk with me. Okay, now I remember him. He was the chatterbox of the orphanage. I don't want to marry him anymore. Izzy tossed the bouquet of flowers behind her and smiled when it was eaten by a shark. Where did that come from? Mind your business, that's where. Xanna blinked, dumbfounded. She shook her head and tried not to think about all the things that Izzy does so she could enjoy catching up with Cosmo. Next scene. So is this her twin brother? Or is he just the male equivalent of Xanna? Is this another love interest? What's going on? Wow, that was quite a story, Cosmo, Xanna said. She and Cosmo were walking around Eversong Woods, catching up on all the things they've done. Cosmo was talking about what happened after he was adopted, how he got his pet lioness Mittens, how his foster parents died, and something about how one night somebody spiked his apple juice and he started to run around Silvermoon naked, and things he did to a tree with chocolate sauce. Izzy was sitting in a corner of Xanna's mind, cradling herself, obviously scarred by all the things Cosmo had done to that tree. That poor tree. So, what have you been up to, Xanna? I mean, besides not getting any taller. He laughed. Xanna kicked him in his shin. Ouch! He hopped on one foot as he rubbed his shin. Don't underestimate the tiny, Xanna said. Xanna laughed as Cosmo stopped and continued to rub his shin, and he could have sworn that he heard Mittens laughing along with her. Traitor, he whispered to his pet. Mittens walked past him and flicked her tail on his nose. Cosmo stood up to catch up with Xanna and Mittens. So seriously, what have you been up to? You know, a little of this, a little of that. What kind of little of this, little of that? Questing in the Barrens, nearly being eaten by raptors, meeting an orc and his family, getting walked in on when I was in the shower, being dragged to the beach, nearly being killed by harpies, meeting a troll and his turned friend, getting annoyed with him and the orc brothers, and then going to the spa for 3 days, Xanna said quickly. I have a feeling that I'm missing something. Yeah, I kinda told you the short version because the long version would take all day. Well, I got nothing but time right now, so tell me. Xanna sighed and told Cosmo all of the things she'd done in the past week. Wait, you were at the spa for 3 days? I'm surprised that you're not a prune. That's what I said. He can't hear you. Still, that's what I said. Thank goodness Estevan didn't find out that you were there for 3 days. I probably would have been fired for taking the rap for you. Yeah, sorry. It was just 'cause, you know, I understand. I would have done the same thing if it was me. Xanna laughed. Cosmo joined her. Mittens felt laughed out and tackled Xanna and began to lick her. Ah! Attack of the kitty slobber! Cosmo laughed some more. Mittens stopped licking Xanna and laid down on her stomach. Crushing! Lungs! Dying! Xanna pretended to be dead so Mittens would get off of her. Mittens wasn't fooled, so she continued to lay down on Xanna's stomach. Cosmo, please get her off me. Cosmo laughed and told Mittens to get off. Mittens did what she was told, after being told 10 times. Cosmo helped Xanna back up to her feet. So, what do you think your friends are up to? Next scene. Moxa was sitting on the ground, crying. When is Xanna coming back? Why can't we go find her? Why am I related to an idiot? First answer, who knows? Second answer, because that would be counted as stalking. Third answer, I don't know, Kishpek answered politely. It wouldn't be counted as stalking. We would simply be going to find her and watching everything she does. I believe that is counted as stalking. Moxa stuck his tongue out at Kishpek. He shrugged, not really knowing what he did that would make Moxa do that, and then Moxa continued to cry. Oxil smacked the back of his head. Cram a sock in it, you crybaby! I'm only crying 'cause you ran Xanna off, Moxa said, hopping up to his feet and pointing an accusing finger at his brother. We both ran her off. I didn't want to admit it, but it's true. We both did. Moxa crossed his arms over his chest and looked away from Oxil. Mainly you, he mumbled. Oxil sighed. Guys, if you want to see Xanna so damned much, then let's just go visit her, Makoki griped. Kishpek was about to say something. Makoki held up his hand as a sign for him to not speak. We won't be stalking. We'll be visiting. That sounds like a reasonable plan, Kishpek said. Yeah, it is. So why don't we just do that? In fact, why haven't we done that yet? Because none of us thought of it till now? Kishpek tried to help. Because we're idiots and we're afraid of a cute little blood elf killing us because we came and bothered her while she was relaxing just to bug her, Oxil pitched in. All of them agreed that it was probably the second one. After agreeing, it was silent for a moment. So, what are we waiting for? Let's go see Xanna, Moxa said and headed for the Zeppelins. He stopped and turned around. Anybody know how to get to Silvermoon City? They all looked at each other, all of them hoping that one of them would know. When no one said anything, they looked at Moxa and shrugged. All of them sighed. Sigh. We could ask for directions on the way, Gishpek suggested. Moxa and Oxil gave him shocked expressions. What? Makoki grabbed his shoulders and shook him. Are you insane? He yelled and continued to shake him. No, he answered. Makoki stopped shaking him and started to yell at him some more, slapping him after each word. Man! Slap. Never! Slap. Ever! Slap. Ever, ever, ever! 3 more slaps. Ask for directions! Ever! 6 more slaps. Makoki let go of his friend. Any other suggestions? Kishpek rubbed his cheeks and fell to the ground. Moxa and Oxil looked at him, then Makoki, then backed away a few feet. They shook their heads at Makoki after getting at a safe distance. Akazil sighed. Guess we'll have to wait for her to come back. If she comes back, Makoki said. Akazil frowned. While they said that, Moxa stared in horror at the poor unconscious Gishpek. Is he breathing? Akazil sighed again. Please come back, Xanna. Next scene of These Are the Simps of Our Lives. Who knows? Xanna shrugged. Well, let's go find out, Cosmo said. Xanna tilted her head in question. Really? You want to go see them? Cosmo nodded really fast and answered, Yes, they sound fun to hang out with and I really want to meet them. If you don't mind, that is. Shh, think about it first. Do you really want to go back to that torture? Xanna thought about it for a moment. They may be annoying, but they are kind of fun to hang out with. Izzy sighed. Damn, now I'll have to go back to that torture. Xanna smiled. Yep! Cosmo was worried that Xanna was going to say no and tried to convince her to say yes, even though she was about to say it. Cosmo got on his knees. Please, Xanna, I haven't had any excitement at all ever since I found Mittens, so please take me to this wonderful wonderland of wonderfulness and let me meet these people to spice up my life, even if it's just a little bit. Please, he begged. Xanna looked at him. He lightly elbowed Mittens, who was next to him, so she would join him in begging. Mittens rolled her cute little cat eyes and began to do a cute little kitty beg. She rubbed her head against Xanna's leg and started to purr. Meow, meow. Then she sat next to Cosmo, and they both gave her pathetic looks. Xanna laughed. I was going to say yes, silly. Cosmo jumped to his feet and gave Xanna a big hug, but she was still able to breathe. Xanna liked that about his hugs. Yay! Wait, Xanna pushed him away. What about your job? Cosmo laughed. I guess I forgot to tell you. This is actually the beginning of my vacation week, because the writer can only write conveniently for the sake of the story rather than some actual depth. Cool, so you have plenty of time to go meet the guys. Cosmo nodded so much it looked like that his head was going to fall off. Ow. Xanna laughed. Okay, let's get going. Cosmo jumped up and down, clapping his hands. Yay, 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 and more yays! Izzy shook her head. I can't believe I forgot who he was. Me too. I mean, honestly, how can you forget his childish laughter? Stop questioning me and go back to your torture. All right, I'm going. Oh, Xanna, I forgot to tell you something. Cosmo started to babble. You better get there fast, or else I'm going to kill him. Why? What's with the So, Cosmo, Xanna said, interrupting Cosmo's babbling. Huh? Britishly? Could you tell me about the tree again? You bitch! Xanna smirked mentally as Cosmo started to talk about him, the tree, and the chocolate sauce again. Izzy ran to a corner and began to cradle herself, trying to block out Cosmo. But she didn't succeed. End of chapter 5. Oh my god. There's just no depth. Writing style, 0. Grammar and punctuation and spelling, 0. Plot, 0. Characters. I know that I've been grading the characters, but since I've added the entertainment section, I now need to properly grade the character section. Since there really isn't any character development so far here at chapter 5, and okay, so we're still kind of early in the story because it's 44 chapters, but still not a lot of development anywhere. Characters get a 0. Entertainment, 3.5. So overall, still about a 0. But I hope that you're enjoying this with me. Feel free to start conversations down below. Tell me any predictions that you may have. Feel free to ask questions. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for being here. May the peace be with you.